Mhm. And thank you again, ma'am. And
No
we're just waiting a
problem.
notification.
No problem.
Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than Sister Khalilah Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Wonderful pleasure of being on your podcast. I am honored to be here.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Well, we're excited as well. And before we get started, I just want to thank you for the work that you have done by inviting me, along with your other amazing panelists, on the 7th Region Coalition, which will be up this week. I'm going to post the interview on YouTube on my page this week so that everybody can see the interview. My sister Miriam says, Assalamu alaikum, family. Wa alaikum salam, ma'am. Okay, now, Sister Khalilah, what, first of all, well, when did you hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Oh, well, I was born in the Nation of Islam.
Mm,
So so
okay.
I heard the teachings in the womb of
Mm,
my
mm,
mother prior to 75. So as a early prior to 75 baby, because I was born in 76, it was during that transition, the changing of arms, as I say, when, the messenger left us, and, that transition of, as I call it, the Hagar transition,
mm, mm.
where will I help cometh, and
Yes,
then
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
there comes, our help with this, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So with the rebuilding of the nation. So I've been here, at the age of 19, you know, 99 point, I ain't gonna say 99, but because we have good soldiers in the Nation of Islam, but 85%, we get that, we smell on our armpits. And, at the age of 19, I kind of went into the wilderness of North America to try to see if it was something greener on the other side. And then I
Mm.
came back and transitioned back when I was 24 years old and just rededicated myself back to the Nation of Islam. And I've been here ever since.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And my sister Naima sends the greetings as well. Well, Sister
Oh,
Khalil,
return
well,
of
many of us, including myself, have to find the teachings for ourselves, though we're born in a nation, doesn't matter. And in religion,
absolutely.
there are shows breaking Amish about how the Amish people have to go into the world and then they have to see if their
Absolutely.
children have to, whether they or not they accept the, the covenant for themselves. And many religions do the same thing. What advice would you give to people who are young people who are going through that transition?
Oh, that's an excellent question, brother. Brother Joshua, I I tell them to go and search. My mom, when I started studying Christianity, she said, search to show yourself approved, meaning don't stop here because God didn't stop here. So why should you stop here? And if you are the image and the liking of Him, why would you stop at a place where I chose to be? This was my choice. So your journey might not be what my journey is. So when I studied Christianity for 7 years, I also studied other things, within that 7 year process. But go and study. And if that is something that, can actually combine with what you were born in, come on back. Because I'm telling you, the only thing it does is it enhances what you already are. We don't change you, we just
Mm.
enhance the beauty that is within you. So that's my encouragement. Go out there, try it, get your little toes wet, and then come on back.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And what example would, I mean, what advice would you give to parents who are, my sister Naima said, beautiful lesson from your mom. And what advice would you give to parents who are dealing with watching their children who may study um, Buddhism or atheism or whatever, religion or thing they may be going through? What advice would you give to the parents as they journey through that?
Prayer.
Mm,
My mom prayed for me to come back. I didn't know that she was praying, but I felt her presence. And when you feel the presence of prayer, even though they might not know, your children might not know that you're praying for them, they feel it. They know that they'll say, you know what, something is telling me not to go over here. I don't know what that is, but that's that prayer that your parents is praying for, to say, oh, God, just watch over my babies when they go out there. And that's prayer and patience. Patience, prayer. Is one other one that our dear minister Patrick from the seventh region gave me three. It's prayer, principle, and personalities. These three combined elements actually makes who you are. So if you are praying and being patient, then just imagine your children doing the same replica of praying, creating principle, and also making sure that they have their own personality, actually getting out of the shadow of you and creating their own identity. So that's what they're doing. They're generating their self as a new God.
Be so alive. Beautiful, excellent. And my uncle, Minister Jamil, says, Assalamu alaikum. This is valuable
Oh,
information. Beautiful.
absolutely, my
And,
brother.
and thank you very much. Okay. Okay. My next question for you is, once you, well, who are your parents? Because you said you spoke of them, but you didn't say their names.
Yes. So my mother is Barbara Muhammad from Jacksonville, Florida. She's I don't know if my internet is but
Yeah, you went
she
out for a minute. You went out for a
when I
minute.
okay, so yes, she was practicing since 70, right?
Praise be to Allah.
And my mom and my dad, it's so funny because my dad's name is Johnny, right?
Mm.
Brother. So my mom was never when my mom was studying Baptist, she was a Baptist, right? So she was walking. My mom was a walker. She never drove ever in life, right? So she was a walker. So she was walking to work, and my father was on the corner with the final.
Mm. Sister, no, I can't hear you, Sister Khalilah. Uh,
When he said, let me show you. She said, you trying to get fresh. She said, no, I'm gonna give you this final call newspaper, the baddest final call, the baddest, black message to the black man of God. So, my mom was like, okay, give it to me. And she started reading, you know, of course, there was a connection between, of course, my father and her, but she started coming out and started learning from herself. So as she started progressing in the teachings, my father was like kind of hating on her a little bit. You know how that go. You know how you deliver something to someone, and then when you deliver it, it's like, okay, first of all, I didn't want you to do it. I ain't think you was just going to read the paper. Then now you want to join. You want to join this now. So his walk wasn't as congruent with my mama's walk to be. So my mom stayed in, and my dad, went off into the world. But that's how she became, a part of the Nation of Islam through my father.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And thank everybody who continues to like, share, subscribe to the People's Podcast. Okay, once you accept the teachings, again, re-accept them, and you coming back.
Right.
What was the climate like in Jacksonville, Florida? And yeah, how was that?
It was different because at this time we were actually meeting on um at 2 to 4. So it was very late in the day. So I was able to actually go to church in the morning and then go to the mosque in the afternoon. And so when I graduated from college, and so my mom was like, I think you need to start coming back out to the mosque. And I was like, okay. I said, well, I do have the time. I can actually leave, church and come to the mosque. And so as I was coming back to the mosque, there was a couple of brothers. Just be keeping it real, right? And just gloves off, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So a couple of brothers, it was like, oh, Sister Barbara's daughter. Oh, alhamdulillah,
Mm-mm.
welcome. So when that happened, I end up getting married and during processing class, right? So at during that transition of getting married, I actually rededicated myself because they had, it was like I was still in the system. So it was like, oh, well, Khalilah, you don't have to do your general orders or your student enrollment. You can just come in. I was like, I'm not doing it like this. This walk
Mm.
is about me. I'm not gonna again live on the coattail of my mother.
Mm.
And that's what a lot of people normally do. But I definitely wanted to again have this as my own journey. Begin that page of the Nation of Islam for myself and for my child at the time when I came back. So that's what it was. So the climate was definitely different because again, coming from, prior to 75 to where, the minister teaching hard, everything was
Mm.
to,
Mm. Mm.
now Caucasian.
Mm. 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 Mm.
And so we have learned how to use words on a more intellectual level. And so that's where my transition was like, oh, we're not doing that no more. Oh, we're not doing that no more. And so now it was just more so a humble approach and a more spiritual approach versus the more disciplined, hardcore, let's get it in, soldiers till we die type concept.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And when did you go from seeing the Most Honorable Minister Farrakhan as maybe a political person or an activist to someone who is in fact divinely guided?
Mm. You know, Brother Joshua, when I first saw the minister, it was in 81, and he was in Jacksonville at one of our black colleges, at Waters College. And he came with Brother Akbar, and both of them had on like these dashiki shirts, right? So and we were a small mosque, and praises be to Allah, my mom was actually one of the founders of the Nation of Islam in Jacksonville as it relates to the temples, right? So as she was invited to be accompanied with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I always knew that he was divinely guided, if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Mm. Mm.
I never looked at political, but a lot of times people put the minister in that political realm because he has to direct his attention to the political and the propaganda of this world. So that's how a lot of people tie him into it. But you got to realize our minister, he's a missionary. Not only he's a missionary, but he's a visionary. So he actually deals with vision before it even comes to play. So if you follow the blueprint, it will save your life and you will live everlasting. So I always knew that the minister was divinely guided by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through Master Faraj Muhammad.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And thank everyone who continues to watch. Okay, great. Excellent. And some people showing you love in the comments. And I can't wait to put this on YouTube as well. My next question for you is the 7th Region Coalition. How did that come about? And how can we support you?
Oh, praises be to Allah. So the 7th Region Coalition was the birth, the embryo of our dear brother, student minister Patrick Muhammad the regional minister of the 7th region. He actually had this vision of the coalition to be like a lighthouse of information. When treacherous times happen, this is the light that will shine to get everyone's attention to actually go to this particular space in life to get information that they will need to help save their lives. So that's what he wanted to pursue. Now, that's when he actually got together our dear brother Lau, which and then our dear brother Philip, as well as Sister Naira, and her husband brother David. They all got together to symbolize a group to where we will become a coalition. But it was like, what are we doing? So what we did is took a page, not only a page, but the whole entire criteria of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on July 4th in regards to information that we needed. So what we did is start all the information that the minister said, collecting those scientists, those doctors. We went all the way down to the grassroots, just assimilating information that we need in regards to this COVID virus, as well as the COVID-19. So that's what we've been doing, still pushing, because again, we're doing a paradigm shift in regards to the coalition. So stay tuned to that, because not only that we talk about information in regards to this pandemic that is now changing to an epidemic. It's now it's going to, they're trying to filter it into certain categories or certain places in the United States. But we're also going to be going into not only the health part of the ministries, but now we're going to be tuning into the 9 ministries, which right now we're doing health, but now we're going to start going into the trades and commerce part of the coalition. So again, we have a lot of things that's going to be taking place in the 7th region, and definitely the key element will be our 9 ministries, which of course our 10th ministry is Allah God.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Excellent, excellent. And thank you all for the great work that you all are doing. And you all are inspiring a lot of people. Sister Shelly Sharon says, Assalamu alaikum family from the 7th Region Coalition. Walaikum salam, ma'am. And shout out to all of the people, the members of the 7th Region Coalition. And how can people who are in, the viewers of the People's Podcast who are in the 7th, first, can you explain what the 7th Region is?
Right.
And then how can they be a part of the 7th Region Coalition?
Absolutely. So the 7th Region Coalition is, the 7th Region is a region that is actually comprised to the world. We are just a region that is joined and congruent with the Nation of Islam. So of course you have other regions that actually is combined with the elements, but again, the nation is worldwide. We're global.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're just a small portion that actually covers Florida, all of the actual islands in regards to, Jamaica, Tobago, Trinidad, Brazil, and so forth. So all of the islands as well. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Is that a Jamaican accent or a British accent? I don't know what accent you just did.
I can turn it on.
I didn't know what you were just doing just then.
I can turn it on and off.
I didn't know what was going on just then. I didn't know where that was going. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And how can people sign up for that?
Yes. So if you are interested in being part of the 7th Regional Coalition, you can always go to either our Facebook page at 7th Region Coalition. You can inbox us, or you can actually go to our email us at 7thRegionCoalition@gmail.com, and that's 7thRegionCoalition@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. And brother Lewis is saying that's right, and showing you love as well. Okay, boom. We have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. And then we're coming right back to our amazing guest, Sister Khalilah Muhammad, as we have more questions for you, ma'am. Oh, here we go. Hold on one second. Thank everyone who continues to like, share, subscribe to People's Podcast, and make sure that you all can. I can't wait to show you all the interview that I did with the Seven Region Coalition. It was an honor for me. If you like to Cash App or be a sponsor, please Cash App the People's Podcast for all the sponsors and donations. My brother Rashad, Street Premier Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out if you need any of that. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book, both of which are available on Amazon. Please go get both of those books. My sister Naima, Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studio in Atlanta, Georgia. We love our tiny dancers. Please sign your daughters up. Sister Rashida Rafat, Rod Communications 5-year anniversary special promo. If you are working on a book and you need copy editing, content development, or media relations, anything with writing a book, please reach out to Sister Rashida Rafat with Rod Communications. Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad out of Austin, Texas, conflict mediation, squashing the beef. He does an amazing job in the Southwest region. Please continue to support our brother. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad, Children of the Most High, giving birth to a God in the Science of Child Rearing. Please reach out and get that book as well. We're coming right back to Sister Khalilah. Brother Kenneth, Bowtie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you anywhere in the country. Thank you very much. Sister Sherry Muhammad, AsiaticMinds.com. There's a phenomenal online school, teaching children virtually STEM, and just an amazing curriculum, raising young kings and queens virtually. So please reach out to AsiaticMinds.com. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Services out of Chicago. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ. Down is Not Out, his new book, both available on abdulsharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse. Thank you all very much for your sponsorships, donations, and just continued support. All right, Sister Khalilah.
That was a lot, brother.
So we did that 60 seconds. You see how we did that?
Right.
And brother Tony Muhammad says, Assalamu alaikum family. Walaikum salam. Brother Tony, I reached out. I'm trying to get your information so we can make this happen. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on your response so we can make it happen. Everybody who were the panelists, the way you all treated me when I was on your podcast, you already know is mutual. Yes, ma'am. My next question is, in your time in life, has there ever been a time that you were faced with fear? And if so, how have you overcome that fear?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. Ooh, my mother and my father, it's just something about Muslim children that it's very hard to detect fear. You know, it's a difference between fear of getting chased by a dog versus fear of loss of, property, things of that nature. Um, I think, you know, that's a really good question. And right now, I don't know anything in regards to, you know, it was a situation that I had a little health threat.
Hmm.
I was I was teaching children. I'm a mentor of children, Boys and Girls Club, the Bridge, which is an after school program. I was also a coach for basketball. And there was one time I was, kind of coaching the children, and I couldn't run. It was very hard for me to run. I was having a lot of heart palpitations, in regards to, this kind of not able to breathe. And I was noticing that, I mean, even if I walked from one part of my car to the other part, it's just like I had to just gasp for breath. So that was very foreign to me. So that was a little fear of, hey, what's going on? Um, of course, end up going to the doctor in regards to it. And of course, it was, they diagnosed me with hyperthyroidism. Now, hypothyroidism is something that it deals with the actual thyroid. It's a autoimmune disease that, again, allegedly, I always use the word allegedly. Um, that affects you, your whole body, right? So, you have hypo and you have hyper. So when they diagnosed me with that, at the time, I was not only teaching children, training them for basketball, but I was also practicing boxing. So I was I was doing a lot, had a lot going on during that time period. So when I had to actually transition from not able to coach and not able to box, and the only thing I can do in order for me to study my heart and learn the technique of breathing, I had to practice yoga, which I strongly suggest that anyone who wants to kind of identify breathing techniques, please pick up yoga. I strongly recommend that. But I think that was really my only scare, because it was something that I couldn't control. See, fear is something that your body, you kind of, your body actually has this out of body experience to where it's not controlled, right? So even when as that, that story that the minister told us about the bull, and it was that little touch of fear, but it was quickly removed and moved into the bull. So I had those similar situations, but not something that bottled me down or made me feel suppressed, or going to go into a room and not open the door. So I never really had that experience, only just a health scare, but praises be to Allah, I was able to get out of that and, focus on my health and be, congruent with what I was doing. And right now, to this day, I'm not on any type of medication, because the important thing is how to eat to live, which is a very important tool. Book 1 and book 2. Don't get book 1 without getting book 2. That's very important. It goes hand in hand, like your right hand and your left hand. So definitely get those books. But I just started studying and mastering myself, mastering breathing techniques, because the important part of breathing is your heart matters in regards to when you take certain breaths. The more you breathe, the more your heart has a deep compassion to your body. It's like a love song.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You see, and so when when the love song is off, so when you start putting rap and love in the, you'd be like, it kind of gives you a false pretense, and sometimes you have that, you can't. So always, just a FYI, when we talk, we have to talk from our diaphragm. We utilize our thyroid too much, and it puts a lot of pressure on it, especially women. Women do a lot of yelling. It's very stressful, and sometimes the thyroid is triggered. So as women, we have to start using our diaphragm more. We need to start breathing more, and we need to start thinking 5 times before we speak.
Yes, ma'am. Now, so you saying, so all the time the women, all of this ramp, neck rolling and all, you gotta just, so what you're saying, you gotta just control that, is what you're saying. You gotta keep under control.
You have to control it, and honestly, that will save your life. I'm just giving you tools for longevity of life, because again, we are nurturers by nature. That's what we do. That's how God designed us to be. But he never told us to try to fix something that's already broken. That's his job. So you have to identify what God's job is and what our job is. And when you start learning what your job is, your lane will always be clear. I always say my lane is always clear, because I know my job. And when you know your job, you don't have to yell. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't even have to say a peak. You can just be in existence, and they can actually identify and know who you are just by just being silent.
Beautiful, beautiful, excellent. Okay, you gave me some good stuff to chop up. All right, excellent. And thank everybody who's in the comments, Brother Daniel, Brother Tony. I mean, we already Brother Tony, Still Linda, Sister Shelley said, praise be to Allah. Don't forget about, I'm not gonna forget about you, Sister Shelley, of course not. Brother Daniel E. Muhammad. And thank everybody who seems to like, share, subscribe to the People's Podcast. What advice would you give to future wives?
That is an excellent question. Oh man. So future wives. I've been married to my wonderful, wonderful husband, brother Sean Muhammad, going on 10 years.
Yeah.
And my husband is a man's man, as they can say. He it's a little bit of passive, but a lot of masculinity. And he demands respect. So by me being a person that is used to being in control, right? There's going to always be a clash if you think that you're right and he thinks that he is right. The first thing is identifying, honestly, if you utilize the tool of the 8 steps of atonement in your daily marriage, you will solve 100% of your problems. Because a lot of times when we have these arguments, nobody's not identifying the problem. Nobody's not pointing out the wrong. And when we're pointing out the wrong, we're slashing and dashing and cutting our spouse without loving and appreciating them. So the first thing is, you hurt me. And as my husband, as my wife, if I'm coming to you and I'm saying that I'm hurt, then as somebody that loves me, they will respect what I'm saying. That's identifying. And learn how to dialogue with your spouse. Learn how to always be in the courtship process, because you're always getting to know, who your mate is. Me and my husband went and did some painting, and I never thought that my husband can paint. I say, Sean, I didn't think that, I didn't sign you up. I didn't think that you wanted to paint. He was like, why not? I said, I didn't know. So you want to paint? He said, yeah, babe, I want to paint. So he painted. I was like, so everybody looking at his paint, it was like, he did really good. So that was just a courtship, dating process that me and my husband developed, and we almost 10 years in it. So you will never stop knowing who your husband or who your wife is, but you have to be able to identify. I call it the foot test. I wear size 8.5. My husband wears size 13. That means that he has to try to fit into my 8.5. What does that mean? Struggle, pain, long suffering, want, desire, need. And I'm trying to fulfill his 13. That means love, support, dedication, longevity, endurance, patience. So if I'm trying to fit into his 13 and he's trying to fit into my 8, it's gonna be some times where he's gonna be like, you know what, I fit into your 8.5 and I feel good, baby. And I said, I'm fitting into your 13.5 and I'm feeling better. By Allah's grace and permission.
Yes, ma'am. But my sister said, Naima said, all praise to why I say that. The Shelley said, that's right. My question for you, ma'am, is, and most married people, when you say long suffering, struggle, all of this, and then be like, well, what is your advice to the single people if you already saying it's long suffering, struggle, death's door, better or worse, sickness and health, you fight like how do you present that as a positive when it's like long, you already starting off long suffering? That, like, how do you present that as a positive?
No, that's well, long suffering is waiting on Allah. And I know that that sounds very cliche. I promise you. Every single person, when I tell them to wait on Allah, they be like, man, check this out. You don't think I've been doing that? You know? So, but I can say for the record that I've been married for this is my third marriage, right? Again, open book. This is my third marriage. My first marriage was someone that was outside of the nation. My second marriage was someone that was inside the nation, the FOI. And neither one of those marriages that I can honestly identify by learning myself, because that's the key. I was not in it for the right reasons.
Mm.
When my husband came along, first of all, everybody has a standard. Let's talk about standards, right?
Let's talk about standards.
Let's talk about standards. Let's get into this standard thing, right? So everybody, my standard was, because I ball, I play ball, and I work out. So of course I wanted somebody to work out, and I wanted somebody to be, flexed, and and so that was one of my standards. The other one, it was a plethora of these high standards. And so when I was magnetically, because your standards is also a replica of your mindset.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're pulling everybody that you feel like that is your standard. But you never thought that your standard is not congruent with God.
Okay, we'll go deep then.
Okay, so we're talking about standards. So, okay, my husband came, and it's so funny because I met him at a singles retreat. And it was in 2007. So I was already about to get in courtship with somebody else. The guy, the muscular, get in there.
Okay.
Personal trainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was, my husband was here, and I was like, excuse me, my husband right now. I was like, right now, he was like, I just wanted to know what's your name, and I said, oh, well, my name is Sis Khalilah, but can you excuse me for a minute, please? Right there, God was knocking at my door right there. And I ignored it. Second time, he came to Jacksonville, and he was married. I was actually just getting out of divorce. So he came, and he was married to his ex-wife. And he said, and I thought they were the most beautiful couple in the world. I was just like, oh my God. So then I started traveling. And then my husband now, he said, he emailed me. It was like, Sister Khalilah, I was wondering if you're still in Jacksonville. I said, well, no, I'm in Ohio. And he was like, oh my God, I'm in Ohio too. I was like, are you serious? Are you stalking me? My husband was tell you that he wasn't stalking me, but
he wasn't stalking you.
It was
coincidence. It was coincidence.
It was such a coincidence, right? So, but he wanted me to tutor his daughter at the time, who actually lived down the street from where I stayed in Florida. But I was like, okay, well, unfortunately, I'm not in Florida right now, but I can actually assign her to a sister that will help her. So he went, oh, okay. I said, well, how is your wife? Oh, unfortunately, we're not together. I said, oh my God, what happened? So again, that happened, and so forth. So again, that friendship, use the term, friendship developed. See, a lot of times we go into these courtships and not friendships. See, when the courtship ends, there's sadness because there's some feeling attachment to it, right? Because we're not courting properly. No, there's no such thing as a courtship and feelings. If you're going to court and you understand, it's gloves off. I'm trying to see if you are compatible with me, because this is my life. Now, how important is your life that you're going to allow your feelings to gain more respect than your life? That's why, we are taught to rise above the emotion.
Yes, ma'am.
Into the
Yes,
thinking
ma'am.
of God. God should be always present in a courtship.
Correct.
Period.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
So feelings is not there. It's black and white. I got these questions for you, brother. I got these questions for you, sister. Let's see if we compatible. Let's do it. And it doesn't take long. Let's get out of these long courtships, okay? No. Hello, somebody. Because let's be honest, a brother, if you looking at a sister, you 90 days, you already know.
What do you already know?
You already know if she's not going to be for you or she's going to be for you.
How can you tell?
Because if you're asking the right questions in the courtship,
okay,
you will know.
Okay.
Not going to the movies.
Not going to
dinner. You can do that, but still ask those questions. Because again, we're still in court. Period. Oh, the movie was nice, but by the way, I have a couple of questions that came across about what you were saying. I just want to rebuttal what you said. We're still in the courtship. Dinner was wonderful. Oh my God, that dessert was delicious. But as I was saying, I was looking at this question here on this page. You got to be serious with life. And when you're bonding it with somebody else, that is important because there has to be a chemical connection. Because when you start mating, that's a chemical connection. All right. That's how you make these babies that you be like, God, what's wrong with these babies? What's wrong? It was the chemical that made the baby. So we need to start courting properly. That's the first thing. Okay. And the second thing is why I knew that this man was my husband and from God.
Okay.
When I was diagnosed with this, allegedly thyroid disease, my doctor told me I couldn't have children anymore. It was over. It's done. You're done. Soon as we got married and we desecrated our marriage, I got pregnant. My daughter and my daughter now is 19 years apart. Me and my oldest daughter is 19 years apart. 19.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you see how that works? I don't know if that's, because they say mathematics is Islam and Islam is mathematics. So you can kind of add that up, in regards to just life. So, and ever since then, we just always, now don't get it twisted. We did bump heads. It wasn't like it was so beautiful transition. We got it in, and things happen. But again, it's how you do it. I love him. So I'm going to do it in the best of manners. He loves me. He don't want to hurt me. So he's going to do it in the best of manners. He wants to protect me. He's going to come to me in the best of manners. And that's it. I'm not going to hurt him and try to downplay what his needs and desires was, and likewise with ours. So as single people, you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself, but you also have to deny yourself. That means those standards.
Okay, let's talk about the standards.
Go back to the standards.
Let's talk about these standards now.
Look, it seems like brother Joshua has some standards. Okay, brother Joshua.
No, it's not just me. We all have standards. We all have standards. We all have standards, and I'm just trying to be clear on what type of adjustments people should make on the standards.
Okay, so are those standards? Are those standards reasonable, logical, and are there real standards?
Absolutely.
Well, how would you know? if you never test them.
So okay, let me give you an example. Let me
Okay.
Great question. Let me give you an example. So there's let's just say some people in Hollywood, right? Let's say there's an actress, Baltimore, talented, she's setting it off, she's in all of these great things. She sees a gangster rapper named Tupac, you know what I'm saying? She's like, that's my type. That's really who I want to be with. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my, like I know him, we in theater school, we boo. This is me. But he dies, he's murdered. So she's like, I'm gonna go for the opposite. I'm gonna go to the complete opposite, get Will Smith, right? So now she's Will Smith, right? Because my standard, maybe her standards was off. Sure. But maybe her type is more of that. You see what I'm saying? So then like 30 years later, then she's like, well, I kind of felt empty. I always wanted that. He's now Will Smith is now, you know what I'm saying? Like, how I think about that type of stuff.
Sure.
If I have a stand, like I know this is me. And then everybody's like, well, that might not. So you saying I should go the complete opposite just to come to find out that it was me the whole time? And when I knew it was me?
Well, let's dive in that.
Let's go.
Because right now we're dealing with surface. That's all that is. Thug versus this preppy.
Okay.
Image,
okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's the outside image. What's inside? Because nobody likes to deal with the inside.
Okay.
And so this is why we have so many divorces, because I'm looking at the image of you, but not the person inside you.
Okay.
So if that person does something that's contrary to what you think, that is not your standard, you're gone.
Absolutely.
But was it something that this person was expressing who they really are? So a lot of people are running away from the real person within that person.
Okay.
You're trying to look for Holly Berry, but inside she might be Oprah Winfrey.
That's some drastic changing, but okay.
I'm just saying.
That's some extremes. Okay.
But again, we're missing the mark because we are putting the standard as the criteria and not looking at the person.
You're going out. Your voice is going out. I can't hear you. Oh no, the volume's going down. Well, of course the volume's going down right now. The volume's off. Oh goodness, the volume's off. You can't hear. No, ma'am.
Hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Based off of my standard, me and my husband would have never got married.
Okay.
All right. If I did not court him properly, if I did not, because I had a need, I didn't want nobody to trail me alone. I didn't want a man to feel like they can leech off of me because I had something to offer.
Okay.
Right? So we had to be equal in regards to that. Right?
Okay.
I didn't want him to take care of me. I already had a house. I already had a car. Didn't need nobody to take care of me. I needed somebody to love me and understand me and appreciate me, because I know me. I know when I go off. I know when I'm nice. I know when I'm, about to, I know these things. But for him to say, I remember you told me, and it was a year down the line, I remember you told me, and give me a date and a time when we had the discussion. He was studying me. And when a man studies you, it's not what's going on out here. It's going on in here. And so when we put the standard as a criteria, because again, my husband don't have no muscles.
Okay, but now what I'm saying,
I'm just being real. My husband don't have no hair. He bald. You know what I'm saying? So that was not somebody I was looking for.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
That was what God wanted me to have. See, we got to stop dealing with, because society makes standards. God don't make standards.
Okay.
I
have a question. Okay. We don't subscribe to a mystery guy, right?
No, we don't.
So I believe, God's a man, and he, we talk, he wants for his brother what he wants for himself. Are you saying that God may not want me to have. You know what I'm saying? Like a certain, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he made me, he know me.
Right. He
You
knows
saying
you.
he can't send this because he wouldn't have made me want this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you made me like this, so surely you can send that one for. That's how I think about it.
Right.
So
And
is that possible? Is that possible?
it's possible to a certain extent
Okay.
because you have to realize what shaped your mind.
Mm,
What have you been watching that shaped your mind and say, this is what I want?
The scriptures.
Okay. So if the scriptures shaped your mind, then you should be looking for love and not an image.
I never say image. I just say standard. You say
Our
image. I never.
standard. Okay. Or
I
even
never
a
say image.
standard.
I just
Okay.
say
Even a
standard.
standard. So my thing is, if a woman can love you
Mm-hmm.
and still be attractive, but not as attractive that you as you want them to be, but they can love you and do everything that you need in order to fit the criteria. Why not invest in somebody that's going to be there for the long run instead of looking like something or painting this perfect picture? Because that's what we do. We send this representative, which is the garbage man. I call that representative the garbage man.
Okay.
He's the
Okay.
one. He's the what you call it, the the nutty professor. What was that? Dr. Love. We send the
Okay.
Dr. Love in
Okay.
the equation, right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
but when we really open ourselves, we look like the nutty professor. And so they be like, oh my God, is that really you? Yeah, it is me. Are you gonna still love me when I turn into this person? And a lot of people cannot deal with that image because again they fell in love with the representative and
Okay.
not the real person inside. So again, that's where the fear comes in, brother Joshua.
It
That's where
is.
the
It
fear
is.
comes in. It's like, dog, is this person going to be the same person that when I get old and is they going to still look the same? Let me look at their mama. Let me look at their daddy.
But that's what I'm saying. So I think that may be true for a lot of people. For
Right.
me, I'm only speaking for myself. That's not the case. I'm only looking for the inside, only looking for the spiritual side of the person and want to see their spiritual, that we're spiritually compatible, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Nothing on the outside. That's all I'm saying. My standard is only spiritual and the duty to Allah. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So, brother Joshua, let me ask you a question.
Something.
Why why are you not in courtship? Or are you?
Oh, yes, that's a great question, and I appreciate that. And I want to also let you know some of the comments are showing you so much love right now for your great things. Brother Derek says, indeed, he's on his second marriage and still trying to make it work.
See?
Um, by the way, he never liked Halle Berry. Sister Shelley said, come on, Sister Khalilah Muhammad. Brother Derek said, nothing wrong with Baldhead Brothers. My uncle, Minister Jamil,
Hey,
says Joshua.
I have
Mimi
one.
says Joshua. And then my uncle says, doing everything that you need is way more important than being cute.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
My sisters seem to think that I'm lying. And Sister Captain Brenda, now how could you say yeah, right? Now, Sister Captain, now you know me. Now you know me all the time I grew up. And then my uncle says true because he's a whole different kind of handsome than he used to be. Uncle Chip, you still handsome and still beautiful. And Mimi said no deflect. Man, I'm going to the comments.
Hey.
But that's a great question for you. I just wanted to be clear about the standard because you brought up the muscles,
right,
all of that, and then you marry something that's not that.
right.
I'm saying for me, it's the spiritual muscle
Sure.
that I'm looking for.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking for someone who is like Sword 4, Al-Nisa, the woman.
Right.
That's all I'm all about the script, the swords. I'm married. All right. My next question for you is what type of
Okay, it's about me. Okay.
what type of music do you listen to?
Oh, brother. Your uncle, brother Jamil, I can honestly say he is the only person that can go toe to toe with me. And I hope he heard it. Everybody else, they can get it, right?
Okay.
Your uncle is a master music. He knows everything.
Yes, ma'am.
He will win it. He will win it hands down with me. Everybody else, I am such a lover of jazz. I want you to look. I have a look. I have my same archive like you. It's on
Mm,
my.
mm.
I will see if you can see it here. But
I
that's
see
that's
Bob.
my.
I see Bob Marley.
You see him?
I don't know. Is that Lionel
Who's that?
Richie? I don't know who's that. Is that
Oh,
Lionel Richie?
that's Smokey
Oh,
Robinson.
Smokey Robinson. Okay, okay, cool. Is that the
You know,
Commodores back there? I don't know who that is back
no,
there.
that's Earth, Wind, and
Earth,
Fire.
Wind, and
Look at
Fire.
that.
Okay.
Houdini.
Houdini. Okay.
Okay.
New
Temptation. That's
Edition.
Dionne Ward.
That's Dionne Ward. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's the Temptations.
That's
That's
Temptations at the
before.
top.
Yeah. That's before. Our their new edition. They were the
Mm.
old edition.
They were the old edition. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
But I love music. My dad was all, and you see my this is my homegirl in the back, Nina Simone.
Okay. Excellent. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm looking for. That spiritual, like Nina Simone. That's all I'm saying, man. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
and
Spiritual
they're
connection.
out there. Are
Praise
you?
be
But
to Allah.
are you searching?
Man, come on now. I mean, I think the universe is gonna line it up. Every day I pray, man, I
Oh,
just
now
know
we
this gonna
talking about
bring.
it. Are we talking about a mystery God? Are we talking about a mystery God? The lining of the sun and the moon and the quasars and the line, and then one day the X are going to be this way, right? Exactly at 360 degrees. Okay, brother.
Absolutely. Listen, I just
All
want to read
right.
you some of these comments too, Sis Khalilah. Um, Brother Tony was laughing. Um, my Uncle Jamil said, Josh ain't telling nothing. Thank you said, Mary looking like Carrie Washington. Mimi said, now my DMs are gonna be filled with spiritual baddies, no roast. Thank you all, and toe to toe. She's in pocket though, Josh. That's right, that's right, that's right. And then Brother Tony says, with his collection, he can go toe to toe with both of you two, Sis
Oh
Khalilah
boy.
and Brother Jamil. Dude, I'm
Oh
glad that
boy.
everybody's fans of music. All right, now I have two more questions for you, Sis Khalilah.
Yes, yes,
Mental health. Why are you so
yes.
passionate about that?
Well, because mental health has been a stigma in our community for years. Um, I always wanted to help. I just didn't know how, if that makes sense.
Yes, ma'am.
And everybody had that uncle that you'd be like, Uncle still talking to himself, or Uncle still doing this, and Uncle still doing that, or your auntie, or some loved one that you was like, man, that man just crazy. But we never understood that that was a mental illness. And now we have the beautiful tool, and you mentioned it on our show, Diagnetics.
Praise be to Allah.
And the tool is so useful, because who do not want to be something that God wants you to be? Identifying what your purpose is by moving some of the baggage out of the way and not allowing that to reactivate something that's inside you, and to say, be, and it is,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
with a
ma'am.
smile. So I encourage whoever are having issues, use that tool that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given to us. It was a gift
Yes, ma'am.
to us. And don't be disrespectful with not using the gift that our Father has given us. Open the book, get audited, get help. I'm a strong believer in that. I
Same
would
here.
not be me if I didn't get audited. I am an auditor. Not only an auditor, I went to the point where I became a golden seal. Why? Because I was tired of seeing my uncle and I don't have an answer. I was tired of seeing people on the streets and I never had an answer. But now that he gave us something to exercise our salvation, because that's what we're doing.
Yes,
When we
ma'am.
are
Yes,
as
ma'am.
auditors, we're exercising our salvation into the hereafter.
Praise be to Allah.
You know, Minister Abdul Malik always used to use this term, paying off your sin savings and loans.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
As
ma'am.
an auditor, I'm paying off my sin savings and loans because I'm able to unbreak something that has been a chain in a person's mind for years. And it can be all the way from the cradle in regards to that, engram that they never knew. Why does this happen when this happens? Why does this person always do this? Why is the light always so bright in this particular element? Well, there is something that's called an engram. And if you channel that engram and connect with that engram, not because the thing is, an engram is something of pain and discomfort. So we're not trying to destroy it. We're just trying to make it to the point where you can live with it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Not
Yes,
trying
ma'am.
to, you can't change your journey. Your journey is what your journey is. But can you live with your journey? A lot of people in life live with regret
Go ahead and
and they
teach.
die with regret.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But with Dianetics, you don't have to live with that anymore. And that's why I also became a life coach, because I have three elements of my life coaching, and that's self-love, self-care, and self-reflection. Why self-love? The first law of nature is self-preservation. It ain't say love him first, it says love me first. How can I love him and I don't love me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right? Self-care. How can I, tell somebody else, girl, you need to go and get your hair clean or washed, and I'm not getting my hair clean and washed,
Yes, ma'am.
you know? And self-reflection, identifying the two to reflect on how it made me feel. I love myself. I care for myself. And this is how it made me feel. And I want to continue to feel that way.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And so those are my three concepts in regards to my concept of life coaching.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And how can people reach out to you if they need, like, is it like a virtual thing, or do they have to be in Jacksonville?
Right now it's virtual.
Okay. Okay.
Look, I take clients all over.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
They can actually go to my Facebook page, which is Life Works with Khalilah, and that's Life Works with Khalilah. And you will see what I've been doing. Me and Sister Michelle actually did a show in regards to my DNA, and that was a segment where I was actually I actually got my test results back from my DNA, and it had all this type of stuff that was very discouraging to me, and what I identify in that is you are not your DNA. So if they say that you have a fat gene or you have this, how are you going to change it? Oh, well, my mama and my family, we all big boned it. Okay. How are you going to be the change? It starts with you. You don't have to be big boned. It's a choice. Because now when you identify what the issue is, you get to work and try to solve the issue. We're
Yes,
problem
ma'am.
solvers, right? As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say, we're not problem makers. We're not mischief makers. We're problem solvers. So
Yes,
when I
ma'am.
found out what my problem was, I went to work to try to identify the solutions to make me a better person, to fight what they indicated that I had in my body. And then
Excellent.
and another thing, I would never tell one of my clients something that I have not did or I have not experienced. I'm not one of those ones that say, "Oh, go and climb a mountain." I ain't never climbed no mountain. I did climb a hill once,
Mm, mm, mm,
but I
mm.
never climbed a mountain, you know. but I'm not going to give you this false pretense of something that's not realistic. I'm gonna give it to you straight raw. And if anybody have did any type of professional sports, if you know what a coach is, I'm one of those ones. I'm gonna rah. I'm gonna give you the blueprint, and all you need to do is follow it. Once you follow it, then hey, we going to the next level. Okay, game one, we won that one. Now we're 1-0. Okay, let's go to the next game. Let's win that one. Okay, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. Okay, now we're going to the chip, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And that's how my concept is as it relates to coaching my clients.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Go ahead and coach, Miss Belichick. Go ahead and coach it. Go
Right.
Yes, ma'am. So many people are showing you love in the comments. Sister Far is saying yes, that too. Beautiful. Powerful girl, you know, all the black girl magic stuff. Powerful gift. And Brother Derek says he bears witness. We're getting it. My sister Miriam says yes, ma'am. Brother Tony says auditing is awesome. He bears witness. Absolutely. My uncle says he has big bone chromosomes. Uncle Chill. Mr. Jamil. Uncle Jamil. And it's the Shelly is clapping for you. Well, listen, everybody, I can't wait to put this on YouTube. Thank you all. I can't thank you all for coming on. Please continue to like, share, subscribe to People's Podcast. This has been an honor for me. And I want to thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for your sacrifice, for you putting in work, ma'am, and the continued work that you were doing with yourself and the 7th Region Coalition.
Praise be to Allah. It's been an honor, a pleasure. Like I said, you know, Brother Joshua, I remember when you were knee high, you know, because we were part of the 7th Region, you know, back in the days. So I remember when your father did that transition to us, and we was like, Allah Akbar. So it was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to be under the tutelage of your father. And, you know, even though, you know, things happened, but we still became one. And your father loves Jacksonville. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
Okay. Your father loves Jacksonville. Every time like I said, every time we come to Atlanta, he would like Jacksonville. So please give your father the greetings, your family the greetings, all the believers in the 7th Region, the greetings for me. And I again, it was truly a blessing. I thank you for taking the time, you know, for a little sister like me to be on this big, huge platform, you know, because, you know, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up, right?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to be like the sisters who I'm attracted to, the spiritual Marys, the four Marys, many Marys.
He put the note. He put the note.
Spiritual women is the standard. That is what I'm talking about.
Okay, he got some DMs. The DMs coming. I need to get.
It's not about that for me. It's just about the spirit. It's not, my sisters are probably texting me. My sister probably cussing me out by text message like, "Oh, Joshua, that's not you have a standard. You have a type." Blah, 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 blah. But yes, my uncle said Mary's my not Mary Magdalene. I'm saying the real Mary, like the other Marys too. My goodness, my gracious. Okay, but thank you very much for coming on. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye.